What's up, guys? It's Drew Binsky. I spent the last 12 years visiting every single country in the world.
Wow. Pure magic.
And in this video, I'm going to share with you my own personal rankings of all 50 countries in Asia.
Yeah, Drew! Got that!
Woo! Great Wall of China. It is absolutely epic. Wow.
Why? Because it's my favorite continent, the place I called home for 8 years, and it's where I'm traveling right now.
Oh my God, Drew.
We're gonna start in order with my favorites, and then if you watch to the end, you're gonna find out which countries that I didn't like so much. Which brings me to country number 1, the Philippines.
Welcome to the Philippines!
Yay!
Oh man, I spent 2 years of my life traveling in the Philippines. It's a land of over 7,500 islands. The people are so friendly.
Hi.
Hello!
Enjoy your vacation!
Oh, I got a kiss.
Wait.
The food is one of the most underrated in the world. Oh my God. It's a jacuzzi of beef bones.
Oh my God, this lechon is so good.
Oh, hands down.
Yum, yum, yum!
And honestly, if you want the best beaches, look no further than the Philippines. My favorite places are Siquijor, Bohol,
Here we go!
Woo! Palawan. We're on the water here, and we're going snorkeling. Siargao and Romblon. I hope you can make it to the Philippines.
All in the Philippines, it's more fun!
Number 2, Iran. Yes, I'm including the Middle East as part of my Asia video because technically it's part of the Middle East, and Iran is literally the best.
Salam ba Amerikaya?
Skiing in Iran. This is a dream come true. It is where hospitality starts and ends.
We forgot to get our change back, so the guy ran all the way through the market like 10 minutes just to give us a couple dollars back. Thank you.
It's one of the most misconceived countries in the world. Everyone thinks it's dangerous and scary. It's actually amazing. The people love Americans. They always want to talk to me about America, and they really want to visit America.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. It's where the ancient Silk Road was. My favorite places in Iran are Persepolis, the beautiful ancient ruins,
This place is insane.
the main square in Esfahan, the world's biggest covered bazaar in Tabriz. Look at that. And the Rainbow Land in Pesham Island in the south.
Holy smokes. This is beautiful.
Iran is absolutely amazing, and I'm actually applying right now for my 3rd Iran visa so I can go there soon. Number 3, Vietnam.
Welcome to Vietnam! I love you, everybody!
I actually lived in Hanoi for 7 months back in 2017. I think Vietnam probably has the best cuisine in the world. It's super healthy, super clean.
Oh man. Wow, the bread. Crunchy, flaky bread.
Very safe there, very affordable.
Oh my God, this is good. In Arizona, it would be like $7 for this.
And if you can get the chance, get a motorbike and ride from north to south. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Oh, and don't miss the town of Ninh Bình. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Number 4, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is so great, and it's such a shame that the Taliban has taken it over and has kind of ruined the country, although they are being friendly to tourists and they are allowing tourists to go, so you can visit Afghanistan. I've been twice. I spent a total of 5 weeks in the country, and it is just so pure. What I love about Afghanistan is everyone wears traditional clothing, not this clothing, different clothing. The food is delicious.
Oh my God.
It's just one of those places that you feel like you just step back in time. I loved visiting the old markets in Kandahar. Kabul was such a cool place, really just peaceful streets there, and
I'm in Kabul, Afghanistan, and I'm getting a beard trim.
really cool things happening in the capital. And then Bamyan is the place where those big ancient Buddhas are carved into the rock, which is absolutely stunning.
There's a picture of the original Buddha, and that's where he stood, right here.
Afghanistan is a country that I think about really often, and I hope to go back someday soon. I'm gonna take a little seat here because my arm is tired. And by the way, have you guessed what country I'm in yet? I haven't let you know in this video, but I guess you'll find out when I get there. Literally just sat in horse poop. Oops. Horses everywhere out here. All right, number 5, Thailand. Another place that I lived for a few years. I think Bangkok is the most affordable big city in the world. You can have an amazing quality of life for a really, really, really cheap price.
For 2 ice creams, it's only $6, $3 each. 45 only for that ride.
It's the street food capital of the world. Pad Thai, green curry, yellow curry, Tom Yum Goong. All the things about Thailand are so great. Oh my God.
Eating while you're floating is also a great thing to do.
You can go way in the north near the China border and you can get really tribal people living up there, even the ladies with the long necks. You can go to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, you can go to Pai, rent a motorbike, or you can go down to the islands of Koh Samui, Koh Tao. Even though it's touristy, Thailand is really as good as it gets. Number 6, Japan.
Hello from Tokyo. This place is wild. This is huge.
Oh my God. A place I've been 11 times now, and I've been going there almost every year since I was living in Korea. It's such a cool place because it's very foreign, yet they're used to tourism, so they know how to cater to tourism. And so many places in Japan are just so cool. Obviously, you have the cherry blossom season, which is when everybody goes in April. But my favorite place in Japan is in the southern parts. So there's Kyushu Island. You can take a road trip, and around Kyushu, you can visit the exact replica of Easter Island.
Wow. These are massive.
I think it's real.
You could take a geothermal sand bath on these volcanic sands on a beach. And of course, Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka and Fukuoka are really, really special places, and Okinawa. I could talk about Japan a lot more, but I gotta cut it short because we gotta get to number 7, which is Pakistan. Oh man, I'm so glad to talk about Pakistan. I always think about Pakistan. I spent 2.5 weeks road tripping around that country with some Pakistani friends.
Dil, dil, Pakistan, ja, ja.
Karachi was my least favorite place. It's just a big city. But if you get into Peshawar near the Afghan border, it's so cool, very cultural up there.
So the people here, they're very curious and they love to see foreigners visiting their city. And it's just amazing. They always give you the warmest welcoming. Thank you. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
I love the hustle and bustle of this place. It's amazing. Man, this place is cool.
Muzaffarabad, which is in the Kashmiri part of Pakistan, really mountainous up there. You can go to Gilgit-Baltistan, which are these beautiful mountain ranges up north.
It's really amazing to see how the nature is so incredible here.
And also Lahore is just absolutely amazing.
Pakistan, Zindabad.
The Wagah border ceremony between India and Pakistan is something everybody should see. Number 8, Russia. This is absolute beauty. I've been to Russia twice. The first time was just Moscow, but the second time I was actually able to visit Siberia, take the Trans-Siberian Railway a bit across the country, visit Lake Baikal, the deepest and biggest freshwater lake in the world.
Holy smokes. We have found the lake. This is incredible. This is a really special moment for me.
And visit the world's coldest city, which was Yakutsk. I went in the middle of the winter and I found it to be absolutely awesome.
Are you cold?
No.
Unfortunately, it wasn't great to get detained on the border of Russia and North Korea. That's a whole separate story for another video, which I'll link down below. But I find the people in Russia to be super friendly, super calm and gentle. And it's just unfortunate about all this war and political tension happening. And that's just something that I try to think about when I think about Russia, because it's just really, really a cool and unique place. And I should probably mention, it's the biggest country in the world by area. Also, it's not that far away from where I am right now. Interesting. Number 9, Uzbekistan.
Welcome to Uzbekistan!
God, I love this place.
It's the first time that I took my wife Diana on our honeymoon back to Uzbekistan to visit Samarkand, Bukhara, these ancient towns along the Silk Road, which are so well kept and preserved and just cool.
Absolutely stunning.
The food is good. Pilau is a big rice plate with carrots and all different kind of vegetables on top.
It is delicious.
Oh yeah, and also that circular bread for like 20 cents. Fantastic. And I just think Central Asia in general is probably the most underrated region in the world. It's not talked about by anyone. It's really affordable. People are really friendly. They're kind and humble and hospitable. And it's just like a place that I always dream about visiting again. And I probably will visit again. And I hope you get the chance to visit Uzbekistan. It truly will not disappoint. I promise you.
Thank you so much.
I really am sitting on horse poop right now. And I can feel it coming through my outfit. It's kind of gross. All right, number 10, Lebanon. I always say that Lebanese people are some of the most outgoing, friendly, coolest humans in the world. They all speak English, French, Arabic. It's like this really cool fusion between Asia and Europe and Africa.
Lebanon.
Liban? Lebanon.
Nightlife in Beirut is amazing. Lebanese food is fantastic. Mediterranean food, falafel, tabbouleh, shawarma, olives, everything. It's just so fresh.
Oh yeah.
There's also really cool ancient ruins in Baalbek. I recommend you to visit there as well. Lebanon is so small, it's like a village. You can just road trip around. There's no desert in Lebanon, despite what people think. You can go skiing, you can go on the beach in the same day. Man, Lebanon is that good.
The nature in Lebanon is spectacular.
Wow. Number 11, Turkey. A country that I road trip thoroughly to many different regions in the country. I just think it's so cool that Istanbul is literally half in Europe and half in Asia. It's the only big city in the world that's split between two continents. Just like that, we've entered Asia. Same city.
We changed the continent. Welcome to Asia.
Cool.
Turkish food is great.
This is so good. I'm in heaven right now.
People are friendly. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Goodbye, America.
In my opinion, the farther east you go, the more interesting it gets. So Diyarbakir is a really, really cool city where the Kurdish live. Mardin is another cool city. It's like you're driving in a desert and there's this big fortress on top of the mountain in ancient Mesopotamia. It's also where the world's tallest man, Sultan Kosan, lives and where I met him.
Is it the biggest hand in the world?
I also love the Hatay province. Antakya is a really cool city. Gaziantep, the culinary capital. You have hot air balloons in Cappadocia. Turkey's amazing. Number 12, Myanmar, also known as Burma. Really underrated place. Obviously, there was a lot of war and tension back in the 70s, 80s, and even in recent years, there's been a lot of political uprisings and stuff, but Burma's so cool. It's stuck between India and Thailand, and you get a lot of the influence smacked together when it comes to cuisine, even the way that the people look. I love that the Burmese women, they have this white stuff under their eyes called tanaka that they wear for like sunblock, but also like beauty symbols.
Oh, that's so cute.
In Myanmar, my favorite place is called Bagan. It's a land of 10,000 ancient Buddhist temples from like thousands of years ago. It's so special. These temples are everywhere.
That's a big one. That's a huge one.
Yangon, the capital, the Shwedagon Pagoda is cool. I also probably think that Myanmar is a top 5 cheapest country in the world. So if you're traveling on a budget, look no further than Myanmar. Number 13, Indonesia.
I love Indonesia. Yeah.
If you thought the Philippines had a lot of islands, Indonesia's got over 20,000 islands to visit. And please do me a favor and go somewhere else besides Bali. Bali is cool and all. It's actually not my favorite place in the world, and I'm probably gonna get hate in the comments down below about Bali. And actually, I'd like to hear from you if you do like Bali or not. But Sumatra, Java, these are 2 massive islands, some of the biggest and most populous islands in the world.
It's beautiful.
You have volcanoes, ancient ruins, really great street food.
So good. That is scary delicious.
Really humble people.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Indonesia is actually the most populous Muslim country in the world, which many people don't realize. There's over 250 million people there. And there's so many things to do. Jakarta's the big capital city. It's just pretty trafficky there. It's kind of a cool vibe, but I definitely recommend getting out.
That is
Just by hearing
so
sounds.
cool.
My favorite island in Indonesia is called Sumba Island. It's really remote, really beautiful.
It's really cool. The island is so green and it's like a time machine back 100 years.
And also West Papua, where I met the cannibal tribe. I think Papua Island overall is absolutely amazing. Number 14 is Tajikistan. I love that country. I crossed overland from Kyrgyzstan about 5 years ago, and I really love the markets. Sure. Take a little time out to take some selfies with people. Hello. My favorite part in Tajikistan was Iskandarko Lake in the north, and there's a place called Khujand, which is also really cool, really traditional markets. The people dress traditional. It's really affordable in Tajikistan. And honestly, a running theme in this video is going to be that Central Asia is the most underrated region in the world. It's so cool. It's so tribal. It's so ancient. The food is so good, like the fresh fruits in Tajikistan and Afghanistan. I don't know where they get these fruits from, but like really vibrant strawberries and watermelon, and even the peanuts there and the cashews are just really, really tasty. And I really love Tajikistan. What a place. I'm really fired up right now about Tajikistan. It's freaking awesome. Number 15, Sri Lanka, the little teardrop island on the southeastern coast of India, does not disappoint. I've been 3 times. My favorite places are Kandy in the center. It's where you can find the tooth relic temple where Buddha's tooth is. It's apparently in Kandy. You could wake up at 2 a.m. and hike Sri Pada or Adam's Peak. It's like 4,000 steps or many thousand steps, and you get to the top for sunrise. It's one of the most difficult hikes I've ever done, actually. And it's really, really peaceful and beautiful. Food in Sri Lanka is great.
This is as local as it gets.
I always say it's like a beginner's India. It's cleaner, it's safer. I just feel like it's much easier as a Westerner, as a foreign, to travel Sri Lanka and before you go to India. Also, the beaches in the south are great. Hikkaduwa Beach, Marissa Beach. You can't go wrong with Sri Lanka. Oh, and also there's elephant safaris in Sri Lanka. Can you believe that? Elephant Sri Lanka? Cool. It's absolutely incredible. Number 16, South Korea.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
The country where I lived for 2 years teaching English right after college. It was my first time stepping on the Asian continent, and it's what really led me to love Asia and spend 8 years in Asia living and traveling. And I have so much to say about Korea that it could take a whole nother video. But basically, if I had to eat one meal for the rest of my life before I died, it would be Korean barbecue, because you can cook the meat yourself. All the soups and vegetables are really fresh, and you got that red spicy powder. Korea is really underrated because a lot of tourists would go to Tokyo or Bangkok or even Bali before thinking about Korea. So it still is not really overrun by tourists, which is awesome.
It's Friday night in Seoul. What does that mean? It's party time!
They have the best nightlife in the world. Koreans drink more liquor per capita than anyone else. That little green bottle called soju, they just drink like animals. It's crazy. Jeju Island, it's like a volcanic place off the southern coast. It's kind of like Hawaii. You have Busan, which has beautiful beaches and cool fish markets. And of course, Seoul, one of the most populous cities in the world. It's where half the country lives. By the way, Korea has 55 million people, and it's the size of Mississippi. That's how crazy densely populated it is. But really technologically advanced, really beautiful, awesome, and Korea does not disappoint. You have to go to Korea. Buddhist temples, amazing vibes. Korea is the best. Number 17, Syria. The cradle of civilization, ancient land of Mesopotamia that we all learned about in our grade school. Oh, the horse is back. Stand up for that one. And I was lucky enough to visit Syria. During the war, I actually really struggled to get the visa. They weren't giving out tourist visas at the time, so I was able to find a loophole to get the visa.
Today's been an incredible first day in Syria.
Welcome. Hello, shut up.
I just found Syria to be so much different than we think it is. In the media, we just hear negative things. We hear about the war, and it is really sad to see the destruction everywhere. But Damascus is beautiful. It's been untouched from the war.
I am the highest person right now overlooking Damascus. And I'm kind of freaking out.
Hello. Hi. You have a beautiful Mediterranean coast of Latakia and Tartus. Believe it or not, there's beautiful beaches.
You would never expect Syria to be like this. Never, but it's incredible.
Aleppo is really cool. The citadel is huge and ancient, and one of the oldest citadels in the world. And the food, of course, in Syria is some of the best. It's like Lebanese food.
We just stuffed our faces with Syrian food. Oh my God, it's so freaking delicious. It's very cheesy and sweet at the same time, and it's incredible.
And the people are just as humble and friendly.
The more you take pictures, the more we love you.
Syria is awesome. I hope to visit back someday. I don't know when that will be because they're not letting Americans in. And I think I'm banned from visiting Syria. Long story, not my fault, just other things that went on. So anyways, Syria is awesome, and I hope to go back someday soon. Number 18 is Bhutan.
Land of the Thunder Dragon.
Land of happiness.
Sandwiched in between the two most populous countries in the world of China and India, Bhutan is a little slice of heaven. It's a paradise land. It's beautiful nature.
This is seriously one of the most beautiful countries I've ever seen, ever.
People are super cool. They have weird food there. They put like cheese on the rice. It's kind of odd.
Emadasi is famous in Bhutan. Chili and cheese only.
And they also obsess over there's like statues all over the buildings. I don't know. Anyways, you can hike Tiger's Nest, which is one of the best hikes in the world.
Pure magic.
The towns of Thimphu and Paro are really cool. A lot of elderly people just hanging out. They dress really tribal and traditionally with this red outfit with the tall white socks. And I always remember one word in Bhutan. It's
Kadinchi.
Kadinchi.
Which means thank you. I hope you can visit Bhutan someday soon. Bhutan is really underrated, and there's not that many tourists because they charge a hefty fee of $250 per day per tourist, but that does include the hotel, so it's actually not that bad when you think about it. Number 19, China. Because you guys have been so patient in trying to figure out where the hell I am right now, I'm actually in China. But I'm near the border of Mongolia. I'm in a region called Inner Mongolia, which is in China, but it's all Mongolian people. And I'm actually at a festival called Nadam right now, they've been wrestling and horse racing, and it's been super, super, super cool. It's actually the first time I've visited China outside of the big cities, so I'm actually really getting to feel the culture. And I gotta say, it jumped the ranking in Asia a lot. I used to have a negative bias towards China for whatever reason, but it's a land of 1.4 billion people. It's the size of the continental US. There's 50 different nationalities that are living in this country. And it's so cool. There's so many hidden secrets, hidden gems that no one's ever heard of before. The cities are cool, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, but you really got to get out in the countryside like where I am in Inner Mongolia. And food is so good, the people are friendly. It's really humble, and I'm excited. I'm actually heading to, after this, Dandong, Chongqing, Yunnan province, Chengdu with the pandas, and then I'm going into Xinjiang to spend some time with Uyghur culture. So yeah, soon to be a lot of videos on China. It is starting to rain right now, so I'm gonna do one more country and then take a break and come back later. And that leads me to number 20, Kyrgyzstan. The one stand that everybody forgets, Kyrgyzstan. It's hidden, it's tucked away, it's super landlocked, and guess what? 95% of the country is mountains. It's beautiful, it's scenic. Ala Archer National Park is amazing. I love the culture. They wear these little white, it's actually starting to rain a lot more, so I'm gonna start walking faster. They wear these white cone-shaped hats, and they're just really cool. And once again, Central Asia, I'm in Central Asia right now. Inner Mongolia, I consider is Central Asia, not East Asia. And it's just the culture just keeps getting me every single time. Bishkek is a really underrated capital city. There's beautiful markets, friendly people. Everyone just like humble. They come around, they just invite you into their house for tea or coffee. And it's just a place that you know that almost nobody that you know has been there, which is why it's so cool. And that's why I like visiting places that are really off the beaten path and places that you wouldn't think about visiting every day. Hello, how are you? How are you? Nice to meet you. Bye-bye, bye-bye. You wanna see something crazy? A banana covered in large black ants. That's crazy. Anyways, that leads us into number 21, Oman. An easy road trip country if you're visiting Dubai or Abu Dhabi. Oman's cool. It's really old school. It's a huge desert. You could sleep overnight in the Wahiba sand dunes, which I did, and it's awesome. Muscat is just a cool little capital city. It's very chill and calm in Oman. Nobody's running around screaming. There's no traffic. It's just like a humble place and a country that I think that you should visit because you would definitely have an enriching experience. This guy keeps wanting to take a picture with me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. There's literally not a word of English out here. It's so bizarre. Number 22, Israel and Palestine. I'm going to group both of them together because I love both of them so much.
Hello.
And I have visited many times, road tripped around. It's really where all three big religions of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity have major cultural significance. This whole region of the world is fantastic. Love the food, the people are super nice, and just really a shame that the countries are always at war and they just can't get along because Jews and Muslims are brothers. They have so much in common. And yeah, I just really wish and hope that things will get better in the region. But Tel Aviv's awesome. It's a city on the coast. Jerusalem's really historic. Bethlehem, around the region where Jesus Christ was born, is just really a special country to visit, and yeah, one of the best in the world. That leads me to number 23, Mongolia. So I'm in Inner Mongolia right now, which is part of China, but the culture is very similar, which is the same as Mongolia, same language, same customs, same food. It's such a cool place. It's the least densely populated country in the world. There's only 2 to 3 million people that live in Mongolia, and it's huge, it's massive. Like road tripping around the country would take weeks just to cover everything. The Gobi Desert is really beautiful. I actually haven't been there, but I know it's amazing. Ulaanbaatar is a cool capital city. It's one of the only places that I ate horse, which is common up there, which is interesting because I don't eat horse in Inner Mongolia. The throat singers in Mongolia are amazing. You have to experience that. You can go to a show or you can visit. Actually, yesterday there was a guy in the village. We're sitting down in the grass and he was doing the throat singing. It's awesome. And yeah, Mongolia is really one of those well-kept cultures that is super special and one of the last remaining places I think you can really feel the power of the culture. And the food is hearty and it comes from the earth and it's healthy. Yeah, Mongolia is great. And they're really good wrestlers, which I'm finding out right now at this Nadam Festival. Number 24 is Yemen. Welcome to Yemen! I did an 8-day road trip across mainland Yemen, crossing over from Salalah, Oman, crossing the border, and man, is it cool. I actually think it's the most dangerous country in the world, all things considered, but if you go with a reputable tour guide, which I didn't, hopefully you have a good time. But the things that stand out in my mind about Yemen are Shibam, the Manhattan of the desert, what they call it, these beautiful mud brick buildings from the 16th century. It's really amazing, like these buildings are so tall. It's beautiful, man.
Shabam! There's a beautiful town on the sea called Mukalla. Seyun is another cool place, just like really tribal in Yemen. I was at this like wedding and everybody was dancing, and they have these like knives in their pooch right here. They put knives there. They're chewing khat, or this stimulant plant that makes you feel really high. And Yemen is like the wild, wild west, man. And it's something that I would only recommend for experienced travelers. Number 25, halfway through the Asian adventure, is Georgia. Georgia is awesome. It's debatable part of Europe, but I don't know. I'm counting it as part of Asia because it is on the other side of the Black Sea. Speaking of the Black Sea, the town of Batumi on the coast is awesome. Like beautiful beaches, really cool resorts. Look at the view out here. It's unbelievable. I was traveling around with my friend Bera, who's a celebrity there. His dad is the former president of Georgia, and he's an awesome guy. And we visited wine regions. Wine in Georgia is some of the best in the world. It's really good. Of course, you have Tbilisi, or as the locals call it, Tiflis, which is the capital. One of my favorite foods is called kinkali, which is these big soup dumplings. They're like the size of your hand, and they're really thick noodles, and there's soup inside and meat. It's just so awesome and so tasty. It's grungy, it's hipster, it's kind of like Berlin, I would say, a little on a smaller scale. Life is good. 26 is India. I'm sure a lot of my Indian friends and followers out there have been wondering when I'm going to talk about India. And the truth is, I have a love-hate relationship with the country. I've spent over 6 months of my life on 7 different trips in India. I visited about 70% of all the states and provinces in India, and I will always be going back. But I've had some really hard times there. I was in a fatal bus crash where 2 people died on the bus when I was 23 years old, and that really scarred me. This is crazy! India is where your true colors come out as a traveler, because you're going to see everything and it's all in your face at once. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and that's just what India is. So it takes really tough skin to travel there. You get a lot of attention as a foreigner because, you know, everyone's really friendly. They speak English.
Hello, how do you do?
Kolkata, crazy. Of course, the sights there are amazing. You have the Taj Mahal, which is the coolest building in the world, probably. Some of my favorite places are Arunachal Pradesh, which is on the border of China. And India is so big, it's like a continent in itself, so I could talk about it forever. The south is different, it's tropical. You have coconut trees and different cuisine down there. And the north is awesome. Rishikesh and Varanasi, the holy city. My least favorite place in India is probably Delhi, but other than the big cities, I think India is really charming. The tattoo tribe that I visited in Chhattisgarh, the nose plug grandmas, so much exists in India, and it's definitely a place I think you should visit. Nice to meet you, bro.
Love you.
Oh, I got a heart from him. Number 27 is Iraq. Oh man, mainland Iraq is awesome. I did a whole road trip, saw the Babylon Gate and all the ancient hieroglyphics and ruins there. It's really, really cool. Wow, just doesn't get any better than this. Unbelievable sights. Saddam Hussein's ancient palace is up on the hill around there. Karbala, which is the home of the biggest pilgrimage in the world. Iraq is awesome. I road trip the country. I highly recommend doing it with a guide, and you'll have a really, really wonderful time. Number 28 is Laos, the least visited country in Asia and one of the most underrated. First time I went, I just went to Luang Prabang, which is a place right in the center. It's significant for Buddhism. There's some cool temples and nice little touristy town there. But the last time I went up in the north to a place called Luang Namtha. It might be the best footage that I've taken in my entire life. And I visited some tribes on the border there. And really, really peaceful, really beautiful, really humble. I remember going to the market and the lady served me some rat and she took me to her house and we ate rat together with her kid who was going to school that morning.
Seba.
It tastes like chicken. But Laos is very undiscovered. You'll find things that you never knew existed, and it's just a place that tourists don't go, which is why I like to visit. They dance like me. That's a good thing. Number 29, Kazakhstan. One of the top 10 biggest countries in the world by area. It's massive. This is my first time in Central Asia, and it's so cold that I can't feel my face. I only went to Astana and Almaty. It's got some really beautiful mountains. Astana is this like planned town, which is like really weird, and it kind of gives you creepy Soviet vibes when you go around, but people are really cool. It's Central Asia, as I said. It's awesome. My friends just got back. Hey, you went to Kazakhstan. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, like I would say it's pretty much same culture. The Asian face, the nomad culture, I would say, yeah.
What he said. Thank you. All right, we're taking a break because the rain. We'll come back later. All right, the rain has stopped for a little bit, and I'm back in my friend's village, and we're gonna hop back into the story at number 30, Jordan.
Welcome to Jordan!
Salam alaikum from Jordan, my 111th country. As I mentioned several times, the Middle East is one of my favorite regions in the world, and Jordan is no exception. I actually think it's the most peaceful and safest country in the Middle East. Amman is a really cool little capital city. The best falafel I've ever had in my life was in downtown Amman. There's a beautiful old city with UNESCO World Heritage Sites. But of course, the pride and joy of Jordan is Petra, which is an old rock formation that's like half built into the ground and the mountain and half made by human. And it is absolutely incredible to visit. If I had to make my own 7 Wonders of the World list, Petra would probably be on it. It's incredible. You could spend a few days out there and just wander around and marvel at the temples that are literally hand carved into the rock like 2,000 years ago. Jordan is awesome and a place that I will continuously be visiting for the rest of my life. Number 31, Papua New Guinea. Some people might say this is part of Oceania. I'm going to include it as part of Asia because the western half of the island is actually Indonesia. Papua New Guinea is a really, really special place, Papua Island. It's the most tribal place in the world. I think there's over 850 unique languages and traditions. 850 in a relatively small country.
Hello, di ka kuya rin.
Nakabilang sa paranim kanda.
Na gaksim buta mukha.
Mi uksi.
It's just an incredible, cool Pacific island that the culture is really, really vibrant. A lot of people are chewing betel nut, which is this like red thing that they spit, and it's like a drug that makes them feel high. I like to explain Papua New Guinea as like West Africa vibes, where it's like you don't know what you're getting. It's kind of chaotic. It's not really the safest place, but it's really enriching culturally. And the food is really good. And I think that going there will definitely give you some memories to last a lifetime. Number 32, Taiwan, potentially controversial, especially because of in China right now, and China doesn't consider Taiwan as a country. But I included it in my list of 197 countries around the world because it does have recognition from the majority of UN states. And Taiwan is awesome. It's a tiny island of over 20 million people, which is crazy to think about. From north to south, east to west, I've traveled all over Taiwan. I think the food is awesome. They have a big night market culture in Taipei. In the south, there's a beautiful place called Kaohsiung where there's these amazing 2 temples together. There's actually tribes in southern Taiwan if you go down to the south. And believe it or not, the reason that Filipinos look Asian is because the first settlers were Taiwanese. The nature is beautiful all around Taiwan with green hills. Taiwan is just lovely, very friendly people. Bubble tea was invented in Taipei. Din Tai Fung is a Taiwanese restaurant which has the best xiaolong bao or pork soup dumplings in the world. And if you've never heard of hot star chicken, get yourself to Taiwan. How do they make it so good?
Number 33, Cambodia. Beautiful country in Southeast Asia. You have Angkor Wat. It's the biggest religious monument in the world. It's in a place called Siem Reap.
Faces are incredible.
The killing fields of Phnom Penh, which was a huge genocide in the 1980s, where a third of the population was killed. You can visit the killing fields. But Cambodia is really cool. I think it's become a lot more popular with tourists, which is awesome because it's well-deserved. And it's an easy bus ride to get from Thailand or Vietnam. That takes us into number 34, which is Nepal, a beautiful little Hindu majority country just north of India. It's the home of Mount Everest and many other of the tallest mountains in the world. I only went to Kathmandu, unfortunately. I actually was planning to hike to base camp of Mount Everest. I'd already paid for it. And then the 7.9 earthquake hit when 10,000 people died back in 2015, and I had to cancel my trek to Mount Everest base camp. But I really enjoyed Kathmandu. It's a beautiful little town. I remember it being really dusty actually for some reason. So I remember having to wear a mask. This is way before COVID. But momos is one of the best dishes in the world. It's these little Nepalese dumplings called momos. So Nepal is definitely a place that I hope to go back and visit and hike to the base camp of Mount Everest. Number 35, Malaysia. I know we're getting later into this video, which technically means that these are my lower favorite countries in Asia, or like not at the top of my list, but I still think that Malaysia is awesome. It's hard to pick favorites, guys, and you'll see when you get to the farther end of the list which countries I'm not in a rush to get back to. Malaysia is great. You got Peninsular Malaysia and Borneo, Malaysia, 2 places that are long distance away by plane. You got orangutans in Borneo, Malaysia, but you have Kuala Lumpur and Peninsular Malaysia. So you got the Petronas Twin Towers, really cool nightlife. Really nice mix of like Arabic and Indian and even like white and Western people and Indonesians, Filipinos. It's really a cool mix.
That is what we call diversity. This is what we call Malaysia.
And the home of durian, the king of fruits and the stinkiest fruit in the world, which after eating it about 20 times, I've actually learned to love it. Number 36, North Korea. If you've seen any of my videos before, then you know that I kind of have an obsession with North Korea. I spent 3 nights, 4 days in Pyongyang back in 2017. That video is kind of what put me on the map.
We're at the top of the Juche Tower in Pyongyang.
I could speak Korean because I used to live in South Korea. I've always just really been fascinated by North Korea. It's the most isolated country in the world. It is the most depressed country in the world. And the fact that it's so closed off is absolutely wild. All Americans are banned from North Korea at the moment, but as soon as it does open up, I would like to go back and really humanize the people there. There's like 25 or 30 million people in that country, and all we think about is Kim Jong-un and atomic bombs and all these other crazy things. But you know, people are just people, and at the end of the day, I want to meet them and learn their stories. And ironically, literally, I'm going to the train station in a few hours to go to the border town of China and North Korea called Dandong to go learn about the life there and try to see if I can meet some North Koreans. So yeah, always got North Korea on my mind. Number 37, Cyprus. This is technically like a European country, but it's on the border of Asia, and some maps consider it Asia, so I'm putting it in this video because I want to talk about it. Cyprus is really interesting because you have Greek Cyprus, which is the southern part of Cyprus.
Right now, I'm standing on the Greek side of Cyprus.
And then you have Turkish Cyprus, which is the northern part. And when you cross the border, it is drastically different. The north is all Turkish food, Turkish people, big Turkish bellies, Turkish baths. And the southern part is all Greek people. They're just really loud and drinking. It's a totally different religion, group of people. But that all being said, Cyprus as a whole is great. Cypriot people are really friendly. The food is really good. Really great vacation spot, great beaches, and cool place. Number 38, Saudi Arabia.
Welcome to Saudi Arabia.
This is actually my last country that I stepped foot in when I finished all 197 on October 29th, 2021.
Dude, I made it. I made it to Saudi Arabia. I feel unbelievable, man.
Jeddah was my entry point. I've been to Saudi Arabia again. I took my wife there, Deanna, as part of our honeymoon. I think it's a fascinating place. I just think that it is changing so quick and there's still a long way to go, which is why it's kind of at the bottom of this list. I also want to visit more parts of the country. My favorite parts were Jazan, which is on the border of Yemen, which is super cool, Yemeni culture. This is unbelievable. Al-Ula, which is in the north. It's like a rock formation similar to Petra. I actually think Al-Ula is more fascinating than Petra. So if you're into like cool rock formations and temples built into the ground with sandstone, check out Al-Ula. But I do think that Saudi Arabia does have a ways to go until it becomes more Western friendly. You can't really drink in the country. Women just were able to drive recently. And up until like this year, I don't think you could share a bedroom with someone who wasn't your spouse. So all things considered, I think Saudi Arabia will continue to grow and it will become an emerging tourist destination in the next few years. Number 39, Armenia.
Hello, everyone. So I made it to Armenia, this little town in the mountains.
I guess the reason this is so low on the list is because I didn't really get to see the whole country. I didn't go to Yerevan, the capital. I just crossed the border in from Georgia and I went to this border town called Dilijan, which is beautiful in the north. It's like in the forest. And I went to some towns and villages around there only for a few nights. And I'm actually trying to go back to Armenia soon to appreciate the culture more and to learn more about this place. And that's the reason it's low on this list, is just because I don't have too much knowledge about it and I can't wait to have more knowledge about it soon. Number 40, Turkmenistan. I think it's a fascinating place, but it's kind of sad that the people are very oppressed and they don't have internet really, and they don't really have knowledge about the outside world. But Ashgabat, the capital, is a freakishly strange place. There's like buildings everywhere, but no people inside. A little bit North Korea vibes.
All these statues everywhere. They're like on every corner.
The Gates of Hell is this burning fire crater in the middle of the country.
There are very few eternal fires on this planet, but none of them are as impressive as this one.
I haven't seen anything else. I'm actually applying for my visa to go back to Turkmenistan soon. But for me, it's only those two things in that country, and it's why it's kind of low on this list. One of the weirdest places in the world. In fact, one of my old viral videos that I made is like visiting the world's strangest city, and it is one of the strangest. So yeah, when I go back, hopefully I'll see a different side of Turkmenistan. Number 41, United Arab Emirates. So the reason it's so low on this list is because the country is like 90% expat. So you're not even getting local people, local flavor. Like when you go to Dubai, it's literally 1 in every 10 people are actually Emirati, and you can tell by the way they look and the way they act. So I think Dubai is amazing. I'm actually planning to move there and spend some time there soon with my wife and dog, maybe 6 months out of the year. I love Dubai. It's in the center of the world.
This viewpoint is overlooking the entire Palm Islands, which is this man-made, literally palm.
It's got young energy, entrepreneurial, there's great food, a lot of things going on, very happening. But if we're just ranking countries here, I don't think that the UAE has that much to offer. I mean, Abu Dhabi's a much more boring version of Dubai. In fact, you can't even put both of them in the same sentence. And I've road tripped all the Emirates, and I just don't think it's the most exciting place in Asia.
Gridlock traffic, crazy.
But I'm gonna live there soon, which is ironic. Number 42, Singapore. For the same reason that UAE is low on the list. Singapore, it's a tiny city, state, country. I mean, you can basically get in a car or take a metro to the other side of the country. And, you know, most of the people, it's just like an extension of China. Like it's very, very heavily dominated by Han Chinese people. Food is great. There's a lot of things to do. It's one of the hottest places I've ever been. It's near the equator. Every time I go there, I'm like, why am I going to Singapore? But I have no hatred towards Singapore. I think it's a great place. It's just as a country, as like things to offer, as a destination, I don't think it's the most exciting in Asia because it's so small. Number 43, East Timor.
Benvenuto a Timor-Leste!
Fun fact about East Timor, the country actually means east-east because Timor in the local language means east. It's on the eastern side of Indonesia. The capital is Dili. The first thing I think of when I think of East Timor is a big Jesus Christ statue. It's one of the top 5 biggest in the world on top of the hill over the water. Cool, humble culture, not a lot to do, some beaches, some market that I went to. I just remembered it being really lame and boring and probably a place that I will never go back to unless I have a really good reason. Number 44, the Maldives.
Good morning from
The Maldives.
I know this is gonna get a lot of hate in the comments down below. I'm not really a beach person. I like going to the beach or like visiting it for a bit, but the Maldives is like only beach. There's some local culture. I went to this island called Mafushi.
Just got to Mafushi.
Which was actually kind of cool, some local life. Thank you. But it was Ramadan and it's a really strict Muslim country in the Maldives and everything was closed. The capital of Mali is a cluster, excuse my language. It's just like all buildings everywhere in this tiny little island. There's nothing to do. I tried to get a haircut there and it was like really chaotic. So it was just like too much. So if you are a beach person, you're gonna love the Maldives. But for me, I'd rather spend 3, 4, or 5 days visiting like local cultures and learning about local life. Number 45, Azerbaijan. I just think that Baku is like a weird city. It's like wannabe Dubai. There's all these like funky, cool, like futuristic buildings.
Today I'm gonna take you around the capital city of Baku, which lies at the crossroads between Europe and Asia.
But the people are like kind of weird. I don't know how to say it in any other way. I just had really strange encounters with people in Baku. It was my 100th country. I have a picture of me sitting in the lawn.
100 countries? Feels great, man, let me tell you.
Holding up number 100. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't think it was like more significant or better than Georgia or southern Russia or Armenia or any other places in the Caucasus region. I just thought it was kind of the weakest link there, but definitely a place I hope to visit in the future. I just didn't really get the best experience from Azerbaijan. Number 46, Qatar.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
Man, I just got hit in the face with this heat. What a cool moment.
Another small country, not a lot going on. It's super hot there. I guess it saves some energy because it's so hot that you gotta conserve your steps. Doha, they just had the World Cup there. I mean, there is things going on in Qatar. I've made some videos there, but overall, I just think it falls flat culturally. Unlike the UAE, there are a lot more local people in Qatar than expats. I don't know, I just felt weird vibes there. And they do have a really cool souk or a Arabic market called Souk Waqif.
Look at this, it looks like it's made of mud brick.
It's kind of touristy, but it's really cool to walk around. And every time I go to Doha, which has been 3 times, I always walk around Souk Waqif. Number 47, Kuwait.
Man, it is hot. I feel like I'm just walking in a sauna right now.
Another small country in the Gulf, a little more strict. You know, most women are covering their hair. There's no bars in the country. It's a very dry country. They have tea shops and hookah places where people kind of hang out and be social. But I just found Kuwait to be really boring. Almost everywhere around the Middle East and Central Asia is more exciting. They do have the cool towers in Kuwait, but that's all I got to say about Kuwait. Number 48, Bangladesh. The capital of Dhaka has the worst traffic in the world by far. It is number 1 on the traffic list. I don't know, I like West Bengal, India. There's a city called Kolkata, which is really fascinating. I find it to be more exciting than Bangladesh. Bangladesh is cool. I got really bad food poisoning there. That's not a reason that I don't like it. I just didn't really find a big connection there. I went to a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
We are here in Panam City, an archaeological site in the south of Bangladesh. These buildings are ancient.
But yeah, I'd rather just go to India. There's way more places to visit in India for me than Bangladesh. But yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the place, but I just didn't really connect with it. Number 49, Brunei.
Welcome back to Brunei. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a pretty special place.
Yeah.
Even though I went back again and made a video about why I want to go back to my least favorite country, it was cooler the second time around, but it still wasn't that awesome. Brunei people are nice, but it's just boring. There's strict curfews there and weird laws. It's like, you just get this feeling that everyone's watching over your shoulder. I was able to go to like some cool hipster coffee shops and like meet local people last time, which I really enjoyed. There is a national park called Ulu Temburong, which is nice. Really cool wildlife out there, but I don't know, Brunei is just not the coolest place for me. The best part about the city is like the stilt homes in Bandar Seri Begawan in the capital, and I don't know, that's it. And that leads me to my least favorite country in Asia to wrap up this video, which will be Bahrain.
Morning guys, today I'm excited to explore Bahrain and I'm even more excited to take you with me.
The coolest thing about Bahrain is the F1 race, which I haven't been to, but that is like the talk of the town. Other than that, I just find it to be not exciting. It's a dry country, there's no liquor. I mean, underground you can go party and drink, which is what I did when I was there. But I don't know, I didn't connect with the culture that much. I would much rather go to more exciting cities. Instead of Manama, I'd rather go to Dubai, or even Jeddah was more exciting for me. And yeah, if you have been to Bahrain and you loved it, let me know in the comments down below. And in this whole video, this is just my own personal experiences, and I just want to share that with you guys. Please, if you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, or if you have rebuttals or something different to say, please let me know in the comments down below. The fact of the matter is, I love Asia. It's my favorite continent in the world. I've spent so much of my life here, and I will always be coming back here in the future. My wife is from the Philippines. We have a house out there. I've taken my own parents to Asia many times, and there's so many more places to explore, like in China. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. As you know, I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video. Peace and love.